All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you guys how to make an average graph using Google Sheets. At the end, if you follow my instructions exactly, you will have a graph that looks exactly like mine. And that is what I'm doing here, is I'm finding out how well you follow instructions and then you can use this in the future. All right, first thing you need to do, click on New, create yourself a Google Sheet. Now, you'll have Untitled Spreadsheet. So you're going to change the title to Length of Swing versus Average Period. And then you can put in your initials or your name. Next thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the columns are set exactly the way that they are in the data table that I gave you. So length, meters, trial 1, seconds, trial 2, seconds, trial 3, seconds, and then you don't have this on your data table, but I want you to put in average, period, seconds. Everything should look just like that. All right, then I'm going to click on the row, or if you want to, you can just click on those and highlight them. I need to see my formula bars and stuff. I wonder why I'm not seeing my formula bars. That is interesting. I don't know where all my formula bars are. Just reload this and see what happens. There we go. There's my formula bars. All right, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to highlight those. I'm going to make them bold. I'm going to go over to the format. I'm going to make them center. And then I'm going to go to what's called text wrapping, and I'm going to click the middle one with the little curvy arrow, and that will allow average period to all show up in a single square. All right, then I want to put a line under, so I'm going to go to the little box thing, and I'm going to put a line on the bottom, and then I'm going to go down several rows over here in column A, and I'm going to put a line on the right hand side. Then I'm going to start typing in numbers. 2.0, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, 2.8, 3.0, and then I'm going to put in some numbers here. 1.10, 1.08, oops, not 1.08 there. 1.08, 1.12. All right, now I just chose that particular line to do those. Obviously, you'll probably be filling them in from here. Now, you can see that I've got some issues here. It doesn't look the way that I want it to look, okay? One thing is I want everything here to have one decimal place. So I'm going to go up to increase decimals after I've highlighted, and I'm going to give it one decimal place. Then I want everything here to have 2 decimal places. So again, increase decimals, 2 decimal places. Now me personally, I prefer to have things center justified, but I don't really particularly care all that much. Now, you're going to go ahead and put in your numbers. I'm going to pause this video and put them in so you don't have to suffer through that. All right, now that we're back, yours should look just like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do an average of the times, okay? So you click in that top cell there, E2, and you hit equals. It tells the machine that you want to put in a formula. So then you start typing average, and now it knows you want to put in an average. Then you put in an open parentheses. Now it's trying to average all of those, which you don't want. You just want these 3, B, C, and D. So you click on those, you highlight B, C, and D, you close the parentheses, you hit enter. Now, the autofill is actually correct, but I want you to know how to do this if autofill is not. So I'm going to reject that. Then I'm going to click on here. Now, the beautiful part of the spreadsheet is that you don't have to repeat calculations yourself. I have done that average calculation for this line right here. I want to do the same thing for this line and this line all the way down. So what I do is I click on my calculation. I put that blue circle right there. I put my crosshairs over it. I drag down and it does the calculation for me automatically, right? And it would do it even if it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines down. All right, now I want to create a graph that is length and average, okay? And I want length to be on the x-axis and I want average to be on the y. So the way that Google Sheets works is basically anything that you click on that's to the left, it will automatically put it on the x-axis. And anything you click on that's to the right, it will automatically put it on the y. Now you can change that, but this will do it automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those values right there, including length. Then I'm going to press Control on my keyboard, and I'm going to highlight again average period. Control allows you to highlight both at the same time. Then I hit Insert and Chart, and I get that. And that is basically what I want, but we're going to be changing it to make it match exactly what I want. All right, so first thing, I can do chart type. Now, I want scatter, okay? So it is actually where I want it right now. But you can do different things. Like you can do a line. I don't want that. I want scatter, all right? And there's all kinds of different charts that you can do. But the scatter is the one we almost always use for science. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that. All right. Don't really need to change anything else here. So I'm going to go up to Customize. I don't want to change the chart style. Okay, that's where I would do the border colors and stuff, but they're fine the way they are. Then I'm going to go down to Chart and Axis Titles. Now, I do want to change the chart title. Okay, I want to make it length of swing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to title text. I'm going to click in there and I'm going to type of swing. I also want this chart title to be centered. So I'm going to go down to title format and I'm going to make it centered. Now I can also make it bold if I want to. It doesn't really matter to me, but you could do that if you wish. Then I want to change the horizontal or the x-axis because I want it to be length of swing as well. All right. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to choose horizontal axis title. And I'm going to, again, click in there and change to of swing. And there it changes it. Now, I don't particularly like to have multiple colors on my graph for no meanings. I want to use colors for different reasons. So I'm going to click on Series and open that up. And I'm going to change my my point color to black. Then to make sure that you know how to do it, I'm going to change my circle to some other shape. I don't care. I'm going to use square. Now, if you don't like how big those squares are, you can change the size here, for example, if you want to. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't really matter to me. Then in series, I'm going to add a trend line. Now, if you had hand graphed this, you would put a ruler down and you would draw a line of best fit. Well, the machine, if you click trend line, will do that for you. And notice that it's a line. It's linear, okay? Now, you can do other things. Exponential, for example, see how it gets a little bend up, or polynomial, now it gets a little bend down, all right? But this is a line, so we're going to use linear. Then down here in the labels, every line has got an equation. So I'm going to use equation, and that is the linear equation. Y is equal to 0.773x minus 0.614. And then I'm going to click Show R Squared. That tells me how linear my line is. How close is my data to a line? In other words, how close are the points to the line that I draw? If it was exactly perfect, it would be 1.0. This is 0.993. That's 99.3% linear. So that's very, very good. Now, that is pretty much everything that I want to do to this graph. Now, I'm going to have you guys